just turn around to the front again, mate. Let's see your front pockets.
Yeah.
Okay, mate, the device has indicated the presence of metal in your front right pocket. Before you reach in there, can you tell me what it is?
Oh, it'll be my phone.
Okay, I'll get you to produce that for me too now, mate.
No worries, go hide. I've got nothing to hide.
It's late on a Friday night in Surfers Paradise. While young people flock to the city's nightlife precinct, 7:30 is accompanying police on a special operation. They're trialling the use of handheld metal detection wands, searching for knives.
Fine?
Yep.
Just don't kill me. It's a coin.
Okay.
On this night, police don't find what they're looking for. They say it happens in just 1% of searches. But that 1% has revealed a haul of potentially deadly weapons.
So this is the knife you're speaking about?
The bulk of those are different types of knives. Sometimes they're concealable knives, sometimes they're very large knives, knuckle dusters, replica firearms, axes, tomahawks and a pruning saw.
3 years ago, not far from here, the random stabbing murder of 17-year-old Jack Beasley shocked the state.
4 teens, aged between 16 and 18 years, appeared in a Beenleigh court today, while a 15-year-old faced court on Monday.
That Friday afternoon, Jack left, as a parent, you never in a million years think that, that's going to be the last time you see him. The next time we seen him was, lying on a bed, lifeless.
Belinda and Brett Beasley now campaign against knife crime through a charitable foundation created to honour their son.
It was his last birthday. That's the ultimate goal, is to stop them from carrying the knife in the first place. Not even touch the knife. You've got to stop them before they do that, and that's what we're trying to do.
And the slogan is, live your life without a knife.
In response, the Queensland Government gave police the power to conduct random wand searches on a trial basis at Surfers Paradise and Broadbeach. But this month, Queensland's Parliament passed what's known as Jack's Law, giving police across the state the power to wand people for the next 2 years on a mass scale.
It's bittersweet. We're super excited, but then on the other hand, it's quite emotional for us as well. You're listening to people speak about Jack, and it's a little bit hard.
In particular, I'd like to thank 2 people who are in the gallery right now, Brett and Belinda Beasley. Jack's Law is needed to combat knife crime and the terrible consequences that can arise from one moment of senseless violence.
Under the new law, a senior police officer can authorise random wanding searches at any of 15 designated safe night precincts across the state and on any mode of public transport, including bus stops, train stations and associated car parks. The seizure of a single weapon during the previous 6 months will be enough to authorise random wanding. Anyone who refuses to submit to being scanned may be liable for a criminal offence.
Being in a highly public place, being asked to tip out your pockets, tip out your handbag, is quite intrusive. And it's also intrusive in the sense of our rights and liberties, in that we haven't previously had to do that. We might have done it with consent if asked to do so by police, but there's been no legal authority, and I think it's quite an intrusive legal authority that's being given.
Yes, we acknowledge that they are extraordinary powers, but sometimes extraordinary powers are needed to take extraordinary action to save lives.
The Queensland Police Minister, Mark Ryan, says the powers are used judiciously.
There have been thousands upon thousands of people who were wandered in the Gold Coast Safe Night Precinct trial. Not one complaint was received. Before the new law was passed, Queensland Police commissioned an independent review of the first wanding trial. Criminologist Janet Ransley compared results at the 2 original sites, Surfers Paradise and Broadbeach.
There was no flow on reduced serious offending related to knife carrying, so you would hope to see a reduction in assaults or grievous bodily harm or other offences involving personal injury, which is in fact the goal of the legislation, and we didn't find that.
I reached a different conclusion from reading her report. I looked at the data, it did show a decrease. Anyone can look at that report and see that there's been a decrease.
While Parliament was debating the new laws, the Police Minister submitted what's called a Statement of Compatibility with Human Rights, which acknowledged that arbitrary searches of people for weapons may not be compatible.
We've given police the power to engage that search without reasonable suspicion on a random basis. But we are acknowledging, obviously, of the potential of misuse or overreach, which is why there are accountability processes put in place.
What's the government's justification for allowing these powers into areas that don't have a problem with knife crime?
Yeah, well, it's very specific, the legislation, and so there is a justification basis. It's around violent crime, it's around knife crime, and ultimately it's around creating that atmosphere where people can feel safe and are safe because there are no knives in those particular areas.
Submissions to a parliamentary committee raised significant concerns about who police will be selecting to search when scanning crowds, and the fact that police do not need to hold a reasonable suspicion before they choose someone to scan.
It does seem less than ideally targeted, but I do think that there is a need for police to make sure that they're using this relatively intrusive mechanism in an area where it's justified.
It's a very unintrusive process. You would have seen the interaction generally only lasts a couple of moments if there's nothing to be found.
Queensland Police insist the new laws will not be used to target any specific groups in the community.
I think we've got to trust our police to use the training, experience, skills and instincts they have through many years of policing out in these environments to select the right people.
Police are only choosing people to wand who they believe might be carrying a weapon. Is it not fair to say that police are profiling people?
No, I don't agree with that at all.
In the first 2 weeks of the new search laws, police have confiscated 24 illegal weapons. For the families dealing with the tragedy of knife crime, that result is a vindication.
Our family has been destroyed by the actions of 5 people that chose to do the wrong thing. And if one of their friends had said to each other, hey, let's not do that or whatever, that's all it would have taken. We'd probably still have Jack here.